when you find out that America has free refills?
Fanta pudding?
I know.
Are you guys serious?
I know.
Ugh.
So it's blazing hot outside. But look at this. I'm going to step into this establishment and it's chilly. It's hot outside, but when you step in...
Forget everything you know about a violent or divided America in the media. On the eve of the World Cup, even Americans believed that the tournament would be a disaster, and the nation's reputation would hit rock bottom because visitors would be disappointed by a country indifferent to soccer. But in reality, after the tournament, things took a 180-degree turn, leaving the locals bewildered. European tourists are completely going crazy for America in a way no one expected. They even called on everyone to come to America to experience it in the most authentic way. So, what turned a convention full of skepticism into a spectacular turnaround for the image of the land of the free? In the next 20 minutes, we will dissect why things that Americans consider normal, even sinful, are saving their national image in the eyes of Europeans. Hit subscribe now, and let's get started.
Woo! I'm gonna sit this right here. All right, baby. There we go.
What is this?
Your pancakes you ordered.
I ordered one pancake.
That's one pancake.
This is one pancake?
Yeah, welcome to America. You know, I used to be little like you. Now look at me.
You expect me to eat all this?
Yeah, I do it.
Can I speak to the manager?
This is 24 pancakes. You ordered pancakes, this is 24 pancakes.
Look at the helpless expression on his face when the plate of cake is brought out. It's not an ordinary breakfast cake, it's as big as a tray, taking up the whole table. But that's not all.
What in the name of the United States of America is this? Look at the size of this can. This is ginormous, a huge Coke can. I have never seen anything like this. Not even in the UK. This is like something I'd expect to see in America. That is mental. Do they have these in the UK? They're huge.
It's huge.
The cups of water in America, whether small or medium size, leave foreign guests in awe. Some people even say it's no different from a bucket of water in Europe with a capacity of nearly a liter. Many Americans, when watching these videos, burst out laughing, mixed with both pride and self-deprecation. On one hand, they are very pleased to see tourists marveling at the abundance of their homeland. But on the other hand, even Americans have to admit, no wonder the obesity rate in our country is among the highest in the world. Honestly, you might consume a huge amount of calories, but in return, you get to eat and drink to your heart's content in a state of fullness and happiness. Americans suddenly realize that things they once considered obvious, even somewhat guilty for their health, are now bringing immense excitement to international friends. But from a social and economic analysis perspective, we must ask a logical question. Why does America operate under the mindset that everything must be supersized? Why don't they make smaller portions like Europeans? To decode this, we must first look at the factors of geoeconomics and geography. America was built on an incredibly vast continent, with a population density much lower than the ancient, cramped, and thousands of years old cities of Europe. In Europe, land is worth its weight in gold, and shops or restaurants must optimize every square centimeter of space. But in America, it's the opposite.
Because we have to drive to the market, and we only do it once a week. We drive to the market because it might be 30, 40 minutes away from our house. So we have to stock up. And with the price of gas, you don't want to go to the market more than once a week. And you stock up, and you don't drink that whole gallon of milk in one day. It's usually for a big family, or a gallon of milk can last a person 2-3 weeks if they have a good, strong refrigerator.
Land in the suburbs is extremely cheap. This leads to commercial spaces like Walmart or Costco being so vast that they can sometimes be larger than a village in France. When the storage space and living space of people expand, their consumer mentality is automatically magnified accordingly. Americans are accustomed to driving large SUVs, traveling on wide roads, and of course, eating huge portions. The second factor, and also the core factor, lies in agricultural economics.
The U.S. is a corn superpower. It's in the food you eat. It's in the animals that you eat. It's in the car you drive. And that's because the United States is the world's biggest grower, exporter, and consumer of corn. Every year, it makes millions and millions of acres of corn, and the government has to figure out what to do with it. That's why you have high fructose corn syrup. That's why you have ethanol in your gas tank. That's why, no matter who's in power, corn stays king.
The United States has an extremely powerful agricultural subsidy system from the government, especially for corn and derivative products like high fructose corn syrup. Thanks to these policies, the cost of producing a unit of calorie, specifically starches and sugars in the US, is astonishingly low. From there, a classic economic law in the American food service industry was born. Upsizing portions costs restaurants only a few cents in raw material expenses, but it significantly increases profit margins by tapping into consumers' desire for a good deal. Instead of selling a small cup of water for $1, they only need to add less than 5 cents for the soda and a larger plastic cup to sell it for $2. Consumers feel they are getting a better deal because they get double the drink, while the restaurant pockets a multiplied profit. That's how the supersize economy operates to stimulate our dopamine every day. Watching my European friends happily enjoy free refill, soft drinks, or giant cakes, I realize how strangely attractive American culture is.
This is normal here.
That's completely normal, man.
What? I asked a medium size. That's medium. Ma che medium?
Thank you. Huh? Bro, these are so good.
If you also find these socioeconomic analyses interesting and enlightening, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support is the biggest motivation for me to continue producing in-depth and high-quality analysis videos like this. So, we have decoded the shock in terms of visual impact and physical size, but the story doesn't stop at the giant plates. The real shock that completely paralyzes the brains of European tourists is found in another place, inside giant supermarkets like Walmart or Costco, where people compare it to an amusement park like Universal Studios. Let's step into that enchanting space right now. Now, let's embark on an experience even more extravagant than those gigantic plates of food. That is the moment international tourists step into the giant supermarkets of America. That's not all. There was a guy who shared his feelings when visiting Costco and Walmart. Everything made him go, wow.
$12 croissants for $7.
Not bad, right?
Best bakery in the world.
So we are currently at the museum Costco. Oh, some lovely food over here. Is that the new stadium for the World Cup?
When witnessing these footage, the American online community was completely stunned. The amazement of Americans stems from the fact that those vast aisles and towering shelves are part of their mundane daily lives. But to the world, they are a magical wonderland. To understand why American retail chains have such a powerful psychological influence on tourists, we need to analyze it from the perspective of consumer behavior psychology. First is the syndrome that scientists call choice paralysis. In most European countries, convenience stores and supermarkets are designed according to the philosophy of optimization and streamlining. They only offer a few of the best brands for each type of item so that customers can come in, buy, and leave quickly, saving time. But in America, consumer capitalism operates in a completely different way. They push diversity to the maximum to stimulate the brain's dopamine. When you want to buy a box of cereal, you don't just have 2 or 3 options, but an entire aisle dozens of meters long with hundreds of different flavors, colors, and sizes. For someone experiencing it for the first time, this is no longer just shopping. It is a direct collision with extreme abundance, causing their perception system to be overwhelmed and extremely excited. The next factor explaining this phenomenon is the trend of going on side quests, that is, making waves on social media. Why do World Cup fans coming to the US prefer to check in at Walmart, Costco, or Waffle House rather than visiting art museums or historical sites? The answer lies in the appeal of real-life pop culture. For over 20 years, through Hollywood movies, television shows, and music, images of yellow school buses, Walmart supercenters, and casual breakfast diners have deeply embedded themselves in the global collective consciousness. When they actually set foot in America, stepping into these places feels like they are directly time traveling into the scenes of the movies they have watched. It is authentic, vibrant, and provides a stronger sense of cultural connection than any traditional tour.
Can someone tell me why they're able to make like 30 different varieties of flavors of oatmeal, 4 different varieties of cream of wheat?
What are you doing?
Bro, that's so cool. Do you like those? Bro, I want to buy a pair. I want to buy a pair.
Bro, you never wore boots in your life. What are you talking
I
about?
will start from now.
Und mein Himmel, they have alcohol! Yes!
Ich will essen alles. Oh mein Gott,
A German tourist even gained over 600,000 followers just by filming videos of eating at the budget chain Waffle House. They are turning themselves into the main characters in an open-world role-playing game where each convenience store is a new map to explore. It's fascinating to see how simple things in life can create wonderful connections between different cultures, isn't it? If you are enjoying this journey of exploring the intricacies of behavioral psychology with me, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel right away. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so we can continue to dissect the hottest global social phenomena together. The abundance of space and goods in the supermarkets is enough to leave visitors in awe, but America doesn't stop at just satisfying the visual senses. The next blow hits directly at the wallets and stomachs of the fans, sparking heated debates on international forums, where people begin to compare social welfare rights and sinful culinary privileges. We will delve into this dramatic story right now. Now, let's watch a short clip that is going extremely viral on social media. It has a very profound comparison. Free refill versus free healthcare. A European tourist laughed and shook his head saying, "Yeah, that's what America chose instead of a public healthcare system. We have insurance, while Americans have unlimited soda." As for this girl, she was so overjoyed that she almost went crazy when the waiter brought out a coffee pot to refill her cup completely free of charge. For them, this is like a miracle, while for Americans, if a restaurant doesn't have free refills, they will immediately get angry. Not stopping there, this culinary shock also brought about combinations that Europeans initially looked at and could only shake their heads in dismay. And they were truly surprised when they tried it themselves. Watch this traveler experiment with an American snack legend, dipping hot, salty fries into a sweet chocolate frosty. There's an unexpected combination between pizza and ranch sauce. And interestingly, in the comments section, many Americans were extremely surprised to see these unique food combinations from Europeans. However, behind the laughter and excitement of the tourists, let us delve into the 2 profound layers of social and economic meaning of this phenomenon. First, it is the concept of consumer culture and the trade-off between the 2 continents. The social systems of most European countries are built on a solid foundation of public welfare. They impose very high taxes on sugar, sweets, and carbonated drinks to protect public health and minimize the burden on the public healthcare system. In contrast, the American economic model celebrates individual freedom and instant gratification. America maximizes conditions for businesses to optimize physical wealth to attract consumers. You may not have a comprehensive subsidized healthcare system like Europe, but in return, you have the right to access calories and energy at the lowest and most comfortable prices. That is a choice that reflects the identity of each economy. The second layer of meaning explains why the French and Italians, who are extremely proud of their refined cuisines, easily surrender to Texas BBQ or Chick-fil-A sauce. A French guy even claimed that Texas barbecue was better than the day he got married and had a child. The secret here is not magic, but the cutting-edge food science of American corporations. Top food scientists in the U.S. have spent decades researching and discovering a state called the bliss point. This is an exact mathematical and biological formula that optimizes the combination of three components: fat, salt, and sugar. When these three factors reach the golden ratio, they directly stimulate the brain's reward area, releasing a large amount of dopamine that puts people in a state of gustatory ecstasy without feeling overwhelmed. The rich, creamy ranch dressing, the sweet Chick-fil-A sauce, or the savory, sweet Texas BBQ platter are embodiments of behavioral science. It is designed to break all standards of reason, making even the most discerning palates in the world surrender from the very first bite. Watching this, one realizes that the cultural strength of a nation sometimes does not come from grand things, but rather from culinary inventions that are meticulously calculated and sweet like this. If you find this analysis intertwining economics and society truly valuable, please support me by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment sharing whether you dare to try the fries dipped in Frosty. The material wealth and the explosion of flavors have completely changed Europeans' prejudices about the American way of life. However, there is an even stronger factor, an invisible weapon that has completely warmed and melted the hearts of the tourists from the old continent, who are famously cold and distant. It is not the food, but the American people themselves. Okay. After getting over the shock of portion sizes or the enormity of the mega supermarkets, let's move on to an aspect that touches directly on emotions: people. You see, it's not just this guy, but thousands of European tourists flocking to the US during the World Cup all share the same experience. A wave of comments exploded on social media, where people admitted that what melted their hearts the most was not the beautiful scenery, but the friendly greeting culture of Americans. Americans watching these videos find them both amusing and endearing. They were surprised that a simple hi or a casual smile, something that is a normal part of their daily lives, could move guests from the old continent so much. A netizen left a very insightful comment. That simple greeting is our way of acknowledging a person's existence. From the perspective of social psychology, this phenomenon can be fully explained by a classic theory, the peach and coconut cultural model. Psychologists liken American communication culture to a peach, soft and sweet on the outside, but with a hard core inside. Americans are extremely approachable. They are willing to strike up conversations with strangers at the bus stop, smile in the elevator, and use high culture every place. However, to truly step into their deep private world, it takes a lot of time because the core protecting their personal space is very solid. In contrast, most European countries embody the coconut culture. The outer shell is extremely tough, cold, and distant. Strangers will find them hard to approach, rarely smiling or greeting unfamiliar people. However, once you persistently break through that outer shell, the inside of the coconut is incredibly sweet, profound, and they will become the most loyal friends of your life. For a short-term traveler or World Cup fans, they don't have enough time to crack open a coconut. Therefore, the approachable peach culture of America is a perfect psychological salvation. It gives travelers a sense of being respected, welcomed, and immediately recognized in a foreign land. The second factor that astonishes tourists is the reality of security and instability. Many French and British tourists admit that before their trip, the media back home painted a picture of an America full of unrest, where guns were rampant on every street corner. But when they actually experienced it, they realized the streets were extremely peaceful, safe, and people happily walked their children. This shows a huge gap between America on the news screen, where only negative headlines are sensationalized, and a real-life America that is simple, warm, and full of humanity. Positive energy and human friendliness are truly the most powerful borderless languages, capable of erasing all prejudices. Right, everyone? If today's journey of decoding human psychology brings you moments of relaxation and understanding, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your small actions are a great encouragement for me to continue creating content every day. It is the transformation from skepticism to affection, from prejudice to understanding of the people and lifestyle that has created a miracle for the land of the flag this season. After all the experiences, from gigantic meals, supermarket mazes to warm smiles, how has America's brand identity been healed in the eyes of the world? We will take a look back at the entire meaningful picture in the final part of the video. Please continue to stay with me until the very last second. To conclude today's surprising journey, I want you all to revisit the summary of an international fan. He sat there wearing a t-shirt hastily bought at a Buc-ee's gas station in the US, smiling and speaking very sincerely. Before the tournament, countless people on social media said this would be a terrible World Cup, that Americans were indifferent to soccer, and that tourists would not be welcomed. But the reality is completely different. The world-class stadiums are packed, the people are friendly, and everyone you meet stops to chat about football and their experiences. America has done a fantastic job, and many people's perspectives on this country will surely change after the tournament. That moment truly moved the American online community. Seeing a foreign tourist wearing a t-shirt of a purely American gas station brand, passionately praising the hospitality and professionalism of their homeland, Americans suddenly realized something miraculous. It turns out that their core values have never disappeared. They were just temporarily overshadowed by negative news in the mass media. From the perspective of a social analyst, I realize that the essence of a major sporting event like the World Cup is not merely the matches on the field. It is essentially a cultural audit on a global scale. America enters this tournament with a mindset full of anxiety about political rifts, social unrest, and a national brand identity that is suffering significant damage on the international stage. However, when millions of people from all over the world directly flood into this country, they do not view America through the lens of macro-political perspectives. They perceive America through the five senses in real life. They are overwhelmed by the grand scale of the country, sweetly manipulated by the free refill drinks, excited to check in front of the yellow school buses, and above all, they are captivated by the positive energy, openness, and hospitality of the simple people here. It is precisely those seemingly small and ordinary things that have inadvertently become the most powerful healing remedy for the image of the land of the flag in the eyes of international friends. America, with all the imperfections of its social system, has always been a promised land full of energy and excitement for the world. A long journey with many emotional highs and interesting socioeconomic perspectives, right everyone? Now, I want to hear your voices. If you could choose only one thing from the US to bring back to Vietnam, what would you choose? The unlimited free refill soda system, the gigantic supermarkets like Costco, or the warm, high culture of smiling and greeting people here? Please leave your comments below so we can discuss together. And if you love the way we react and deeply analyze global social issues together like this, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support is the greatest motivation for me to continue producing high-quality videos. The entire content of this video is based on the natural reactions of tourists and logical analyses from the perspective of psychology and objective geopolitical economics, without the intention of attacking, undermining, or absolutely praising any political system or national policy. Thank you for listening, goodbye, and see you in the next videos.